BFFs, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Miss Shalitha Maxine and you are officially a BFF. I'm here bringing you guys this cute, subtle glam slay. So of course, we're going to start with my Milk of Magnesia. I already moisturized and primed my client's face. I'm using my Wet n Wild large concealer brush to go over all of the areas that get the most oily, which of course is the T-zone. Now I'm picking up my Absolute Slim Brow Pencil in the shade Smoke. And you guys know I am tracing out the brow. We're going to go really soft with the arch today. And we're going to go really light with the product. I'm super heavy-handed, so I'm trying to work on making my brows not as dark as they used to be. Just, I guess, more natural-esque. Once my tail is already complete, you'll see me bringing that brow pencil up, imitating hair-like strokes to keep my client's brow as natural as possible. This also helps with it being less boxy in the beginning of the brow. I'm using my spoolie to dust away some of the product so it's not too dark. But of course, we want that tail super dark so it can be super sharp once we conceal it. So for this video, so it wouldn't be too long, I'll be mainly working on the left side of her face, which is her right side, but the way you guys are looking is on the left side. That I'll be doing the majority of the work on that side. Now, as you guys know, I do my 1, 2, 3 method, which the 1 is the lightest, the 2 is the medium shade, and the 3 is the darkest or closest to my client's complexion. And I am picking up my new favorite brush, which is the MAC 252 brush, and I'm concealing with that lighter shade underneath the tail. This is to act as her brow highlight, of course. It's been a new technique that I've been using, and I just absolutely love how it looks after. I never used to go too light with the concealer, but lately I've been doing it, and I just absolutely love the results. I'm bringing that concealer all the way down, of course. We want to completely cover her lid. Of course, I'm using 3 different concealers. The lightest one is e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Beige. And now I am using e.l.f.'s Hydrating Concealer in the shade Deep Olive for the beginning of her brow. And this is the medium color, which is number 2 in my 1, 2, 3 method. You'll see me dragging that until it connects with the lighter concealer. And of course, I'm going to completely cover her lid. Here I am fixing up any imperfections that I see. I'm getting as close to that brow line as possible. I really, really love this brush. This is definitely becoming a favorite of mine. Super flat. I love it. Now I picked up my Morphe 504 brush and I am smoothing this out, basically pushing that product into her lid. We want this to be as smooth as possible, no streaks. I'm doing the same with that eye. It's just so aesthetically pleasing. I absolutely love watching anybody conceal a brow. It is just so satisfying. I started tapping that concealer into her eye because I noticed that you guys can't see it on camera, but in person I noticed it was becoming a little bit too streaky and we need this super smooth. And now for my final concealer, which is number 3 in my 1, 2, 3 method, I am taking my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Deep Sand Tan, and I am concealing the top of her brow. Now I'm taking that M504 brush and I am patting that concealer into her skin. We want it to be as smooth as possible, no lines of demarcation. I started to mix both concealers, the Tarte Shape Tape and the e.l.f. Cosmetics concealer together, just so I'm not wasting any product. As you guys can see, it went very well with her complexion. Now I'm taking my P.Louise Room and Base in the shade 0 and I am packing this onto her lid. This is going to be her eyeshadow primer. I will be repeating a lot of the same products that I use in previous videos because I'm the type of person, I stick to what I know. Best way to avoid disappointments and wasting your money. These products works for me, so I don't see myself changing at any point. Now I'm using my M433 brush and I am beginning to pat on my transition shade, which is a light orange shade from the M350 palette from Morphe. And for my crease color, I'm taking that Anastasia single shadow color in the shade Brick and I'm packing that right into the crease. We don't want to pack on too many colors because we want this eye to overall be a very soft but still glitzy eye. For my last shadow, I am using a burgundy shade from the M3502 palette from Morphe, and I'm just packing that right on top of that crease color. I just wanted to bring out that burgundy a little bit more. You'll see me picking up my transition shade brush and I'm just diffusing the edges of all shadows so you get that nice ombre effect, which I absolutely love. You want to be very light-handed when you do this, not too harsh. Going in with that P.Louise Room and Base in the shade 0, you'll see me lightly dusting my client's lid, and this is to make sure that it's tacky enough so the shimmer that we'll be using adheres to the lid. You don't want your base too dry because your shimmer definitely won't stick. You'll have a harder time trying to blend it out because it's not sticking. She had like a little piece of hair that was really stressing me out. I was trying to get it off her lid because that will come through the shimmer. So you want to make sure you take any little hairs out that you can see. Now I picked up my Anastasia Soft Glam palette and I'm using the shade Fairy. And I am packing it on top of that base with a dense eyeshadow brush. I don't know where I got this brush from. I want to say this is a Makeup Forever brush, but I'm not 100% sure. It's so old, but I just really love the way it packs on shimmer. Now I'm using a smaller blending brush. I can't think of the name, but I will leave it in the description box below. And I just wanted to reinforce that burgundy to really pull out that ombre effect. Now I'm using that same brush to tap some NYX glitter glue up there, and I'm using this pigment from Inglot, which is like a gold foil shade. Again, I can't think of the name, but I will leave it down below. I really like the gold that it gives off. It's almost like holographic gold. It's a pretty pigment foil. I used some lash glue to tap it up there because I reached in, got my Eiffel Tower glitter by Glow Up Academy, and I'm packing that up there. The glitters have gold, copper, and like a silver, so it gives it a really nice pop, really glitzy, jazzy feel. And I'm just packing that right on there. Now I picked up my NYX pigment, pearl pigment, and I'm packing that right in her inner corners, on top of her tear ducts. I'm trying not to be too harsh. I want to be as gentle as possible because I don't want to irritate her eyes. So whenever you're going on your client's tear ducts, make sure you're as light-handed as possible so it doesn't irritate them and they start tearing up. You guys know how stressful that is. I'm doing some tight lining using Inglot's gel liner in the number 77, and I'm just using a flat concealer brush to apply that. And now I'm using my Wet n Wild liner. I'm using a Sephora brush because I don't really like the Wet n Wild brush, but I love the liner. But the brush is a felt tip and I am not with that at all. I need me a regular brush. You guys know how I do my wing liner. Of course, with wing liners, you want to start off really thin. You don't want to start off too thick because it'll be hard to match the other. And then it'll be a constant back and forth. So it's just smarter to start thin And in this case, I did start thin and end up doing the other eye a little thicker. So I was able to create a thicker wing with the other one. So it ends up working out in the end. Now I'm dragging that liner all the way in her inner corner. As you guys know, we're doing a cat eyeliner, which is like dragged out in the inner corner. Super sexy. I love it. You'll see me constantly working on this eyeliner because it seemed like they weren't as symmetrical as I needed them to be, but I ended up getting it together. But it was very stressful trying to not be in front of the camera, so to allow you guys to see exactly what I'm doing. But it was hard, but I ended up getting it at least to the best of my abilities. I picked up that MAC 252 brush and whatever concealer was left on my hands, and I'm just cleaning up that wing liner, getting it as sharp as possible. And then I'm going to bring that concealer all the way down. The reason why you want to bring it all the way down until it fades out is so you don't have any lines of demarcation underneath your foundation, because trust me, with this full coverage concealer, when it dries, you will see. Now I'm using my black Opal foundation stick in the shade Toasted Chestnut, and this will act as, in my 1 2 3 method, as 3. I'm working in reverse now, so you'll see me do 3 2 1. 3 is the darkest, 2 is the medium color, 1 is always the lightest. For the second color, I'm using Hazelnut. And for the third, I mixed 2 NARS foundation, Tahoe and New Orleans. More so Tahoe than New Orleans. And I know it looks super light, but trust me, with my method, everything turns out perfect. Like, it was her perfect complexion. Maybe I can go into depth a little bit more in another video about how I do my 1 2 3 methods. This has worked best for me, and when I teach my clients, they freaking love it. They love it. So you'll see the beautiful gradient effect that it has once I start to blend it out. Taking my Instapop Real Techniques Instapop brush, and I am pressing that foundation into her skin, and as you guys could see, that contrast from light to dark, oh my gosh, this is why skincare is so important, because whatever is underneath your makeup will come through, okay? I don't care. I was just saying this on my page. I don't care how good the technique is, how good the brush is, or how good the foundation is. You need to have good skincare to really pull off that flawless, smooth finish. I'm going all around her face with this Instapop brush. I love this brush. The bristles are tapered. It is just amazing. It's a bomb brush. I went in with my e.l.f. concealer in the shade Deep Olive again, and I am going to highlight her. We're going to go in all the necessary areas, which is under the eye, the top lip, the bridge of nose, forehead, and chin. I'll also be fixing whatever I needed to fix on the wing. This is a perfect opportunity to do so. I went in with a lighter concealer. I can't think of the name off the head, but again, it will be in the description box, and I put that right underneath her eye. I really like a bright under eye highlight, and that's exactly what I wanted to achieve with this one. I went in with that e.l.f. concealer in medium beige just to top that highlight, so it's nice and bright. It's not too bright, because you want to be careful with that, because sometimes it can be ashy and you'll have like a cast, and that's something you do not want. Now I'm taking my Tarte Shape Tape, and I am again revising my brows, and this is just my time to go back, and if I think my brows are a little too thick on my client, I'm gonna go and narrow them down a little bit more. This is the perfect opportunity to do so, and just basically fix up anything I saw. And it's also a nice way to really give your face that dimension. For some reason, when you connect the forehead with the under eye the payoff is amazing. I'm taking my Real Techniques setting brush and I'm starting with the edges, and I'm just packing that into the skin just to get it as smooth as possible. We don't want any harsh lines at all. The reason why I'm starting on the edge is because that's the part that we apply first, so that is the part that is dry first. You want to stay away from directly under the eye. You want to wait until the end. I like to blend out my highlights before I apply my contour. It's better to let my makeup, the concealer, sit for me. It is better to blend it out once it's set for a while. I'm using my e.l.f. Beauty Blender to just smooth everything back in. Now I picked up my black Opal foundation stick in the shade, I believe this is the shade Suede Mocha, and I am contouring all necessary areas, as you guys can see. And I'm taking my Instapop blush brush, which is just a smaller version of the face brush, and I am packing that contour into my client's face. You'll see me alternate between the sponge and the brush, and this kind of creates like a perfect marriage almost, because it seems as if like you'll see no lines where it stops and starts. Everything will just be blended very nicely together, and that's what you want. So you definitely want to make sure you push that product into your client's face to achieve that. Now I'm using my e.l.f. highlighting brush, but I'm using this to set the contour, and I'm using my black Radiance medium to deep palette to go ahead and set that contour, and again bringing that sponge just to make sure everything is as smooth as possible. To set my client's face, I'm using Sacha Buttercup, of course, and as you guys know, I don't really bake. I do more of a set. So the only things that I really bake is my client's nose, of course, because we need that nose snatched, and my client's cheek contour. Everything else I'm pretty much setting. So I'm applying this setting powder with a damp beauty blender, and this just helps it to be as matte and as smooth as possible. Of course, you know, you're gonna have your laugh lines, you're gonna have your wrinkles, but for me, when I set it, my clients get so much more longevity out of their makeup, as opposed to baking. Baking to me almost feels like a waste of product and a waste of time. I'm taking just a regular blending brush, and I just wanted to reinforce that nose contour because we need sis nose snatched. And I'm taking my spoolie and just brushing a little bit more product away, and then I saw that I accidentally rubbed a little bit of, you know, the product off of the beginning of her brow, so I just went back in with those hair-like strokes for the beginning of her brow. So I went ahead and applied her lashes off camera. Now I'm using this opportunity to just fix up her liner. This is the best time to really get your liner in its final form for me. Once the lashes are applied, I could, you know, just set my liner. It'll be perfect. Now I'm using my blush brush from Real Techniques, and I just applied some blush from a Beige cosmetic palette that will be listed below. I'm taking a blurring tool from Real Techniques, and I just wanted to blur out any under eye creasing. Now you'll actually see me create that cat liner, dragging it out. You want to have your client look up when you do that process, and allow it to dry. If your clients get sensitive, I do not recommend that at all. If they get like very, very sensitive, I don't recommend that. Now I am patting everything together, just making sure everything is blended nicely, and I didn't put any product on my brush at all. Using my Colossal Lash, I am going to pair her natural lashes with the falsies and also apply bottom mascara. I saw that I didn't have as much pigment as before, so I just applied a little bit more of that NYX Pearl pigment to her tear ducts, spraying her with Morphe's Continuous Setting Mist, and then pushing that setting spray into her skin. And the reason why you want to do that is because you don't want the water beads to dry on your client's skin. Now I'm using Maybelline Stay Matte lipstick in the shade Protector as her eyeliner, using a disposable applicator, of course, and I am using a Ardell lipstick. I can't remember the name, but it'll be listed below. And I'm just ombreing that out so we get that pinkish, nudish lip that all of my clients love. This is like a go-to lip. I'm going to take a small beauty blender. I'm sorry, a small beauty blending brush, Lord, and just ombre it out as best as I can. Then I'll be applying some clear gloss, basically to all over her lip. I don't buy any fancy gloss. For me, clear gloss does the same thing. So I get my $1 Nicka K clear gloss from the beauty supply store. Call it a day. Doing the same thing, spraying her once more. This is right before the highlight because the setting mist allows the highlight to really show, like really pop. You guys try that and tell me if you see a difference with your highlighter. I'm using the Too Faced highlight, of course, in the shade You Light Up My Life, and I'm going right on the apples of her cheeks, right on top of that blush. I'm also taking a M167 brush, and I'm just applying her nose highlight. You guys know I love my nose highlight, and of course the signature tip of the nose highlight. All of my clients for the most part love that, and I do too. It just they look so cute, so like doll pretty. I love it. Again, pushing that in and just making sure everything is as smooth, neat, and clean as possible. Oh my gosh, she looked so pretty. So pretty. And she told me that I made her day when she saw her makeup. She just kept saying how nice she looked. Loved her energy. Can't wait to have her back. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.